So this connects to the last two videos, the first one being modeling thesis composition, the following one being modeling body paragraph composition. You see, I'm still using the same document that we used before. So if you haven't watched those two videos, please do. We're going to change the title again, since this is a working title and this is a working document. We're going to change this to introductions and conclusions. So, two of the most important parts of the standard college level composition essay. So let's talk about what that is, what they are, okay? So introductions. I have a basic structure for introductions that I like. Are there exceptions to the rule? Yes, but I think following this pattern, this formula, will help you write strong introductions. The first thing I like to do is tell a story that illustrates my thesis. Now, this story can come from anywhere, right? For the exemplification essay, I'm counseling you not to use citations yet. So I'd prefer if you don't pick a story that's someone else's story, unless it's something you overheard. If it is something you read, you'll still need to cite that. And maybe I'll use that as the example for the introduction I write in this video. The next thing is you want to lead into your thesis statement. So this is going to be sort of an internal transition statement from the story to your thesis. And then finally, you're going to state your thesis. Okay, so that's introductions. Let's see what this looks like, for example. So let's say I want to use a story from, I don't know, Lord of the Rings, for example, right? I am going to summarize how Sauron misled mankind through the creation of the 9 rings. Okay, let's do that. So, I'm going to use this story from one of my favorite fantasy novels. This might not necessarily need a citation because it's more of my own summary. But let's just say for now that we're not going to use a summary because it's pretty well known. Tab over because every paragraph begins with a tab in MLA format. And this is my first part of this. So in J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy masterpiece, Lord of the Rings, he briefly touches on the idea that it's not letting, oh, okay, I see what's going on there. If you ever need to adjust paragraph lineation, you just saw how to do it. He briefly touches on the idea that humanity, or men, were misled by Sauron through the creation and gifting of 9 rings of power. None of the men who accepted these rings were made aware that Sauron had created the One Ring to rule them all. It is never specifically stated how he appeared to these men he seduced, but it is hinted at that he promised wealth, power, and long life beyond the measure granted us by God. Right? A logical person would sense danger in such a promise. After all, nothing comes without a cost, and the cost must be high for such gifts. Indeed, these men suffered. They Tolkien writes that they gained great power, but they soon became they became eventually undying wraiths, forced to forever serve the Dark Lord. See, interesting, fun, entertaining, right? It doesn't have to be like that exactly. It could be a funny story, it could be a funny narrative, what have you. Now, I need to lead into my thesis statement. Maybe these Nazgul would never had have become his servants if they had stopped to think logically about what cost was going to be tied to the gift of the race. Bam. Now, I can go back to my thesis statement down here, right? I can use this statement here, plug it in. I'm going to bring it all down to 12 point and remove the highlighting so it looks like a seamless piece of writing, and remove the bold. And there we go. That's an introduction. That's all it is to it. Notice, that's all there is to it, sorry. Notice that it is a story. It is an interesting story, at least to me, because I like fantasy novels. Nerd, I know I'm a nerd. And it ties, though, to something that most people do know. It demonstrates, it illustrates, it exemplifies. That's exactly what that say. Rhetorical.